Hello, everyone, and welcome to our October Aira Monthly Explorer Call. I'm Janine Stanley. I'm your Director of Customer Communications here at Aira. And we have with us tonight, first of all, our amazing producer, Sid, who you just heard in the beginning of our call, getting us all ready behind the scenes. Hi, Sid.
Hello, Janine. Hello, everybody.
And we also have with us tonight our VP of Marketing, Sandy Marcus. Hey, Sandy.
Hello, Janine. Hi, everybody. Happy to be here.
We are commiserating along with our excuse me, trying not to sneeze. Our product manager, Jody Barthel. We're all commiserating here in the Northeast about how cold it is out there. Hi, Jody.
Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, it is pretty chilly right now.
We also have with us our VP of Service Delivery, Savannah Massey. Hey, Savannah. She is in very warm LA right now.
Hello, everybody. So good to be here. Absolutely loving the 90-degree sunshine here in Los Angeles.
Ooh, we could use some of that right now. And Troy will be joining us here in a bit. But to get us started, we have a lot of updates for you this month. So we are going to give you the updates. We also have some of your questions that you've submitted ahead of time. But what we would like to do tonight is have you put questions in the Q&A portion of the Zoom call. So if you can do that, that would be lovely. If we have time, we may take a few live questions, but we're going to take most of them through the Q&A provided here on Zoom. So let's start with a favorite topic of mine, especially right now as pumpkin spice is coming in. How about our Aira points, Sandy? Let's talk about Aira points.
Sure, I would be happy to talk about Aira points. And what I will say before I jump into that, I have never seen so many pumpkin spiced flavored things.
Some things that should not be flavored with pumpkin spice.
Well, the one I have in mind, and then I'll get to the business at hand, is Cheerios. I saw pumpkin spice or pumpkin something flavored Cheerios in the grocery store, which surprised me.
Okay, I might be able to do that. I might be able to do that.
It sounds like candy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So speaking of sweet things, how's that for a segue?
I like it.
We'll talk a little bit about Aira points. And the reason I think sweet things is it makes me think of the beautiful pastry case at Starbucks. My fave is the banana nut loaf. But anyway, so for the community, I think everybody read a couple of months back, maybe it was even June, so more than a couple of months, we launched Aira Points, our very first foray into a loyalty and rewards program to see what would the response be. Will it be met enthusiastically? Is it of interest? Is it of value? Because it's our first foray, we're doing it all manually, very simple, using data that comes from each one of your calls and calculating according to what we rolled out with Starbucks, who is our first access partner, where we were rewarding people for visits to Starbucks, earning points, and then ending up with a gift card. So before I go on about a couple of the lessons learned that we're going to apply for October, November, and December, we still have a little bit of a runway here. I wanted to say we've been so pleased with the response. The whole notion of I'm out using Aira, going here, going there, shopping there, doing work tasks, doing tasks at home, whatever it is that you do when you call an agent. Clearly, the one visiting a Starbucks to get something to drink, to eat, to meet somebody, to sit and do a little bit of work was wildly popular. So we're happy about the enthusiastic response. So now I'll pivot after being at this for June, July, August, and September. We've definitely learned a bit. What we've learned is to be more clear. Actually, let me pause here and not say we. Let me say me, I. What I have learned. Well, and my colleagues here tonight hear me say that often. We is ambiguous. I is very clear. So what I have learned is to be more clear about how we calculate points and how quickly, or unfortunately sometimes slowly, it takes to get that work done and then turn it around and get reward cards out to those of you who are participating. So we had great input from a couple of explorers who said simply, just explain it at the top of the form, how long we should expect from when we submit our redemption request to when we receive our gift card. So that's been done. Thank you for the great recommendation. And dare I say, maybe with my guide dog tail between my legs, I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't have that there. But in any event, the cycle time is about 4 days or maybe 5 days from when you submit your redemption request to when I see it and then process it so you receive your gift card. The next thing that I learned was hard copy physical gift cards. As happy as we are that Starbucks offers those embossed in Braille, people would much rather receive the digital, the electronic gift card. So for a short period of time, I was fulfilling requests with physical cards because I had them left from when we did the tour over the summer months. That inventory's been used up, and that was prudent of me to repurpose it. That inventory's been used up, and the last batch of requests for redeeming points was electronic, and all of your redemption requests going forward will be electronic. So you get a nice notification directly from Starbucks that somebody's sent you a digital gift card. One last thing, and then maybe just a couple of thoughts about go forward. So we'll make some, there I go again with we. I will make some improvements for the October, November, and December redemptions. So remember that you can still, get in on the fun and visit Starbucks and earn some points, which will subsequently earn your way to a free cup of coffee or tea. So far, 158 explorers have participated. So there are 158 of you buying coffee, buying tea, buying pumpkin bread and banana loaf, and then earning points and earning more for free. So get in on the fun. I think, and Janine will keep me honest here, I think our web address for this is ira.io/Aira points, I think.
Yes, I believe
Right,
it's either Aira points or Aira dash points, I think.
And I will check that when I finish talking, and I will share it in the Q&A. So great enthusiastic response. Thank you for the feedback to refine the process. As we start to work our way toward the end of this year, we'll begin to evaluate what we might do next year with another Access partner. And again, because the response has been enthusiastic, we'll look to use a more formal platform to do this. Ultimately, I'd like to get to a place where it's all automated. We're nowhere near that yet. But again, the response has been positive, so we will keep it on the short list of potential activities to extend into 2023. And with that, Janine, I'll hand it back to you. And I'm writing down to remember to go find the URL and share it with everybody.
Excellent. And folks, remember the Christmas cups will be coming out soon. Don't know if those come out right before Thanksgiving. Maybe Savannah, if you remember when the Christmas cups designs come out. But those will be coming out, all sorts of gifts at Starbucks, which is a great way to use some of that time also. If you're at Starbucks and you say, okay, I've got my line, I'm sitting down, I've got my stuff. Oh, wait, let me see what else is here because a number of the stores have a lot of gift items. And I have a cousin who collects mugs from Starbucks, the different location mugs that have different things on them. And she's got a whole collection from my travels all over the country back in the day. So let's see, Sandy, do we have anything else in the marketing arena going on? I think we do, actually, right? We have a workshop on Tuesday.
That's right. Tuesday afternoon, with Janine and a handful of explorers and agents, a Zoom workshop about content creation, where under Janine's able guidance, we'll have a conversation about how you can be best prepared if you are a content creator, if you're doing writing or design or video work. There's probably other examples, how you can be best prepared when you make a call to an agent so that the agent works with you to do visual interpreting, what you should think about in terms of materials you have, questions you've got identified, parts of the task that are appropriate for the agent to assist you with, and how you can create content with us. Janine, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. Actually, our content creators, we have a range of folks. We have some people who are on YouTube. We have a couple of writers. We have someone who does academic work and uses us for content creation. They're in both a written and visual medium. And we have someone who does social media. And so if this is where you say, well, I need to use something like Canva for my job, how can I work with an agent to do things and design things on Canva? Well, guess what? We're going to talk about that. And it will be 90 minutes, so we will give plenty of time for interaction. But we've got some big questions and some tips and tricks and things like that. So you can join us. This is a Zoom webinar. You can register for it. And we sent out did not send out an email. Let me see. I did send it to our email list, our Facebook group, and our WhatsApp group. If you are interested in this, you'd like to get some more information or register, you can send an email to iracast@ira.io. We'll also take questions for the panel, and this will be in the podcast feed probably by the end of next week. So I think it's going to be a fun one. Then in November, on November 29th, we'll have another one of these. It's going to be all about holiday shopping. And we hope to have some of our Access Partner representatives on to talk about holiday shopping and maybe some trends, some tips and tricks from you all about how to make the most out of your shopping trips, because going to the grocery store for me is just an ordeal. So that's why I make my husband do it. So I'm the only woman who does not like shopping. So, but anyway, let's see. Anything else? We also have, before I move this down the line here, it is also National Disability Employment Awareness Month, Sandy, and we have lots of NDEAM content, do we not?
We do. So I would love to draw people's attention to it and then invite you to participate. We've got two activities going on. One is we're doing profiles, kind of an interview Q&A style profile with a handful of explorers who have different kinds of jobs, what their job means to them, how employment is empowerment, and where they use not just Aira, but any sort of assistive technology in their job, in their workplace. So those can be found. The first one was posted today. Those can be found on the Aira website. If you just go to aira.io/newsroom, the latest one will always bubble to the top. Today's features a fellow explorer named David New, who is I was about to say philanthropist. That is not true. He leads 2 nonprofits, and he's an artist. And it's a really interesting read. And we have 4 more coming up over the next couple of weeks. If anybody listening is interested in participating, it's simple. It's a 30-minute, give or take, Zoom interview. And you can share as much or as little as you want. You can use your name and your employer's name, or we can just describe a he, a she, a they with such and such a type of job. If you just shoot a quick note we'll have them go to IraCast also, because Janine will forward them to me. Just shoot a note to IraCast at aira.io and say, I'd love to participate in your interview series, and I'll follow up with you. So I think of that as fishing with the spear. We're looking for 1s and 2s and 3s, interesting stories. And then fishing with a net, I would put the big, broad invitation out, and we have a form for this, where if all you'd like to do is share a paragraph about your work and how you use Aira in your work, whatever your work is. I write, I'm an artist, I'm an information worker, I teach, whatever it is, any kind of job. If you want to write a quick little paragraph, we have a form where you can submit that, and then Janine and I are sharing those on social media. The thinking here, and then I'll kind of use this to wrap it up and hand it back to Janine, is, although we need the URL for that too. Janine's memory.
I've got it. Trust me, that one I've got.
I know
your magical bit.ly.
Your memories for the URLs is amazing. Maybe the bow to tie around this is, when I think about it anyway, I think the little bit of experience that I might be able to describe may be inspiration to somebody else who's looking for a job or looking to make a career change. And this is a great way to do it. It's a light lift for any one of us. And if weaving in the story of assistive technology, Aira or other, kind of lights a spark for somebody about how they might use Aira in their job, or how they might advocate for Aira in their job, then that's a wonderful thing for us to do within the community. And we'll keep on with this past the end of October, while October acknowledges and deem employment and education are 2 areas that are priorities for us. So we'll stick with this sharing of stories about employment well past October. With that, I will hand it back to the keeper of the URLs.
Well, the URL, if you would like to participate and tell your story, is http://bit.ly, that's bit.ly/IraWorks, all one word, AIRAWRKS. And that is going to take you to a lovely Google form that you can fill out, and we would be happy to feature you. And if you have a photo of yourself at work or wherever, you can share that with us as well, and there will be instructions in that form on how to do that. So let's move down our roster here to our product manager, Jody Barthel. Jody, we've been moving so fast since July. Can you give us some updates from the land of Aira products?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Hi, explorers. Really excited to be here. So what's going on right now? I think we talked about this last month. The team has been really focused on the development side of getting that new apps for you all. So that it's nothing that you're seeing right now, but it's something that you will be seeing hopefully by the beginning of next year. So much thank you and praise to all the people. So last time I came on here with an ask, to join our beta testing team, and we had over 130 applications. So we've been really hard at work, kind of reviewing those, finding great people, getting the current testing team that we had. There's about 20 of you that have joined in a Slack community that we're getting to know and starting some of that testing. And for new explorers that have applied, you can expect an email within the next week or two, letting you know and getting you all set up so we can start testing and working with you all to really shape this next version of Aira with us. And then anyone who didn't, we're also going to let you know, because we obviously want to follow up, but we are going to keep that list as spots open up. Would like to keep partnering with you all and learning more about you. And yeah, like I said, just helping us shape these next apps, which is really exciting. So that's all I have on my end.
All right. And I'm sure that that beta testing will be quite interesting as we go forward. We want to thank everybody for taking part. And if you were not chosen to be part of the group, never fear, because we're always testing things here, so you never know when we will need your input. All righty. Now I have next on my list is Savannah Massey to talk to us about service delivery, which is all things agent and customer care. Hey, Savannah.
Thanks, Janine. I appreciate the call out. The most exciting update is that we have been working diligently very hard to staff to ensure that the call wait times are not long. So we've been very intentional with our hiring strategy. Obviously, this is not a role that is easy to find. The most ideal candidates who are qualified for this opportunity. So it takes a lot of effort and intentionality behind our selection process to ensure we're selecting the best possible candidate. So we're excited about that. And care team continues to grow. We are working on things to ensure the questions about Envision glasses, blind child phone, and all things Aira app are being answered, and collaborating with our stakeholders to ensure everyone's questions and concerns are being addressed. So I appreciate all the feedback and look forward to hearing more. If you have any feedback or experience, the good and the bad and the ugly about our agent experiences, do not hesitate to send them our way. Just want to reassure everyone that we continue to make staffing an ongoing priority, and that is not going to be changing. So thanks, Janine, for the opportunity to share, and looking forward to hearing more.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Savannah. And now it's time for the gentleman that is our boss and here for all of you. I know a lot of you have said that it's so nice on a customer call to actually hear from the CEO himself of the company. And here he is, Mr. Troy Attilio. Hi, Troy.
Hello, everyone. Wow, this is great. By the way, it's really the opposite privilege, Janine. I can't speak for CEOs who don't want to talk to their customers, but that is the most exciting part of my day, especially when you have a product like Aira. I'm still coming off the high of going to the different conferences over the summer. We're going to not a conference for people are blind, but we're going to the SHRM conference on inclusion next week. So that'll be fun, but there's nothing like I was at APH, their annual meeting 2 weeks ago, met a lot of explorers there. But yeah, so glad to be here. I'm coming from San Diego. A little side story, the Padres are playing right now. So if you don't have a horse in the race, if you could just like open your heart to send good vibes to the Padres, give them some luck, that would be great. But no, it's great to be here with Jody and Savannah and Sandra and yourself, Janine. What I had to join late. I was on another call.
So
what have we talked about so far? What's going on here?
No worries. So we have gone over our Aira points. We have talked about our beta testing program and where that's going next. And we have some questions for you, actually, Troy. I don't know, Sandy, if you want to pull up our first question from Joe, I believe. And these were sent in ahead of time. The rest of you, if you have questions, if you can put them in the Q&A portion of the Zoom screen here, and we will be happy to get to them.
Before you say this, I just want people to know, like, the pressure you guys put me under. Like, I don't even know what these questions are going to be. I'm going in cold. I can't wait.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's amazing, guys. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so we have just a couple, and as Janine said, feel free to add more to the Q&A. You can find that, at least the way my Zoom is set up, the options along the bottom, the buttons along the bottom. Where are we? Here we
And for
go.
those of you on YouTube, before she gets going, for those of you on YouTube, you can also, I believe we can comment, right, Sid? I think we
Yes.
turned the comments back on. So you can actually comment, and we will take a look at those as well.
So actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you collect your thoughts since you just joined us from another.
No, I'm good. I'm totally good. I was just
right, because I was out that there's one question that I can take. So we talked about this once, I believe. Oh gosh, more than a few weeks ago, probably a couple of months back, and that was about RIM. And when we think about TeamViewer and all of the other tools that we now have support for, a gentleman or woman, I don't know, is asking if we've considered integrating with RIM. And I know you know the gang and have some thoughts to share about that.
Let's see, how do we go? You know, it's really a privilege. I think Ira's in a privileged spot right now where we have a lot of requests and interest in partnership. And, you know, as a CEO and as a former technologist, my background is, you know, working at startups and software. And, you know, one of the most exciting pieces when you get to integrate with other companies, you kind of expand the value of the product you have and help someone else. So and RIM is one of those that we've looked at. And this may be even more of a Jody question, who really owns the product roadmap, but you know, there's a cost, not forget the financial cost. There's a opportunity cost every time we integrate with something. Our developers, our care team, everyone has to get involved. So we have to take those and look at those carefully relative to other priorities, right? So when we look at all the things we could do at the moment, we believe we've done a good job, not to say we can always do better, we've done a good job by expanding the number of options for screen sharing and specifically remote access. So allowing an agent to interact with your desktop if you want to, right? If you want them to control your desktop, including our own desktop product, right? I think you guys know, and a lot of folks are telling me it's really fast, even faster than TeamViewer or anything else, just to use the desktop, hit the share button, no need to set up a session separately with another tool. But when you do want to have someone remote into your desktop, today we have roughly 3 options. We have TeamViewer. If you're on Windows, the built-in native support for Quick Assist, which is nice because it's built in. And then, of course, there's the Google Remote Desktop, that really is kind of an integration with Chrome. And so RIM is frankly next on the list, but right now we have other priorities. So if you all believe that's super important, or if there's something unique, and I do understand from talking to folks there are some unique things we kind of need to hear, because at the end of the day, we have a whole menu, a whole set of things we could work on, and sometimes our challenge is to figure out what's going to have the biggest impact. So right now, long story, RIM is next on the list, perhaps, but doing more, we call it remote access tooling, is not on the list. Would you agree, Jody?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. We got to remember that Jody, one thing that's great about having her here is that she gets the really hard job of saying no to a lot of things, so we can say yes to the most important things.
Yeah. This is a really unique position for us to be in right now, right, Troy, with all of these partnerships. I've been around assistive technology since the 80s, and I don't think I've ever seen companies coming together like they have been in the last 5 years or so. Just amazing to me. Alrighty, so
Well,
what is
I
the
was just going to say
question?
that's a good segue to the next question. But before I toss the next question out, and I know the answer to this one, I can't help but think, and I'm dating myself, that every time we talk about this REM makes me think of a BlackBerry device.
Oh, goodness.
Right. So the next question is one that I'll take and then bring the third one that we have received in advance, and then we'll go look at the Q&A to Troy. So Scott, we have a few Explorer Scotts, asked if we plan to extend the Envision glasses discount and Aira minutes offer beyond the end of this month, beyond October 31st. We'll owe an answer to you all on that. We are in discussion with our partners at Envision about extending the discount on the glasses. So I think, Janine, what we can plan is to get that announced in the newsletter when this month's newsletter goes out. And then, of course, all the other places where we communicate with explorers. The response has been enthusiastic. What made me think about going to this question next is Janine's comment about all of the partners that are rallying around Aira. Aira was once maybe a tool, a service and a tool, and quickly becoming a platform, right, that many different other assistive technology partners want to be involved with. So we'll owe you an answer on that. I know that Envision Gang is eager to extend that. One other comment about Aira and Envision glasses, and I trying to think of where the URL is. God, I'm really having a problem with URLs tonight. And I'm going to owe about 10 of them when the call is done. There was a nice piece by one of our fellow explorers named Gary yesterday on BBC Radio about taking the Envision glasses with Aira for a test run in Washington and then doing a couple of tasks at home. Maybe it's 6 or 7 minutes long, worth a listen to hear about his experience. And we'll make sure that.
And we actually put that today in our social media.
Perfect.
So you'll see that on our Facebook page and Twitter. And we can also probably put that link up in the newsroom here. So keep watching your RSS feed. If you have an RSS reader, you can subscribe to our RSS feed, aira.io/feed. And that will get you all of our new newsroom posts. So, and the newsletter should be out on Monday, everybody. So, Scott, you will get some more news on the offer probably by Monday, we hope. So,
perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, and that brings me to the third question that was submitted in advance, and then we'll go take a look at the Q&As, and I'm going to tee this up for Troy. So the question is from somebody named Joe, and the question is about steps we're taking to address wait time. And I think Savannah offered some really important context that leads into this about our focus on hiring. Maybe Troy, one of the ways we could talk about this is what happens right when we're in a period of high demand. And with that, I'll hand it to you.
Yes. So let's see. Yeah, I did think it was useful. You know, I talked about this a little bit, Sandra, in this call to really continue to emphasize what Priority Connect is and what it's not. I see sometimes when I talk to folks or when I look online, sometimes there's some confusion. So certainly we can do a better job communicating starting now. Yes, our mission is to have low wait time always. I think that really falls on Savannah. She's done a great job, and she kind of expressed what are some of the challenges that, you know, that's our job to overcome those challenges, and we continue to hire. Yet, as we grow, it's a little bit like weather. There are times when I'm going to just for fun say, all of you explorers, I don't know, you set your watches, you all call in at the same time, which, you know, it's what you're supposed to call when you need Aira. So that's great. But what that makes is a temporary surge of demand. And so when we thought about this and why we introduced Priority Connect is we wanted to make sure we were serving, frankly, calls that Aira doesn't pay for. Why is that? Well, it should be obvious as a business that employs lots of agents, pays, has expenses. We first need to make sure we preserve, the revenue that's coming into Aira so we can continue to grow and hire. So the principle is pretty simple. If we are very busy, then we temporarily pause access to Aira for calls that Aira pays for. So Aira pays for what? So if you're a guest, your 5-minute free call is paid for by Aira. If you're using Job Seeker or COVID or welcome calls, there's a bunch of calls that literally there is no money coming in to service those calls. So when we're busy, we just pause those calls. And so I think the confusion I've heard sometimes is the difference between, well, I'm a guest, I'm a paid user. Sometimes I've heard paid users say, well, why are you answering guest calls when I'm the one paying for it? And like I've heard, and that makes sense, right? It makes sense that you'd ask that question. I just wanted to be very clear. Guest calls that Aira sponsor are the ones that we pause, whether you're a guest or not. So Starbucks is paying for service at any location, anytime. That's a paid call. You may be a free user, you may be a guest, you may be a paid subscriber. Either way, that is a paid call. That's one that helps Aira grow. We're not putting those on pause when we're busy. So I think I've kind of tried to clarify that it's not whether or not someone is a guest, a free user, if you will, or subscriber. It's really like, is that call attached with some revenue that helps grow the company? One other point I wanted to kind of talk about is there may be a point in time we talk about what the level of funding is for those Aira funding calls. We debated a little bit, like, should we reveal the number? I'm just going to tell you, it is significant, right? And it's something we always have to look at is like, how much can we afford to deliver? On our dime. It's my personal pleasure, and I think it's the mission of the company to specifically focus on jobs, on employment, on education, and also the welfare of everyone here. So like when COVID hit, we chose to invest in supporting those calls. We found sponsorship from NFB, but ultimately it's in line with the mission. So it's not that we would ever seek to end these completely, but we always just have to be mindful that we have a certain wait time that I think everyone comes to expect and need. And so when we're very busy, then we have to give the priority to the calls that are really helping the company grow in that moment.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Janine.
No, thank you so much, Troy. It's a difficult situation. There's no doubt. And we appreciate everybody's patience with us as we work this out. We have an interesting statistic here for you that I wanted to point out. And again, kudos to Savannah and her team. They have hired 50 new agents in the last 6 months. And I have to say, it is not an easy thing to become an Aira agent. So that's actually pretty significant, I think. Let's see, do we have any questions in our Q&A? And folks, if you could put your questions in the Q&A, that would be most helpful. And then we can read them and answer them for everyone here.
Sure. So I'll toss one out, and then Sid, maybe go to you. I think I see two people with their. Oh, I actually, sorry, Janine, you said we're going to go through the posted questions, and then based on time, we'll go live. Forgive me.
Yep, no problem.
So this is a great question, since we have both Jody and Troy here. When do you think we'll see agent matching, such as an agent who knows or has a particular skill versus another agent who doesn't have that skill?
I can actually take that one. We are conducting right now kind of a lot of research and looking at what possibly problems we want to solve on a roadmap for next year. And that is one that has come up. So It is something that is up for consideration. Like Troy just said before, though, we have to really kind of consider what gives that most value, right? Of what we say yes to and what makes the most sense. But that is definitely one we've heard and we're continuing to collect data on and understand. I don't know, Troy, if you have anything more to add, but
No, that's 100%. And I think the collection of features that we've formally talked about is call management. Yeah, I'm just probably repeating what you said, like that. We've heard and we know those have value. There's lots of things we're looking at that I think is in that's within view, and we've heard the problems around that. And so I think we're also trying not to overcommit, such that just try not to overcommit and not predict things that are totally outside of our control. What's outside of our control today, right now, is like, what are we going to be doing 3 to 6 months? Because there's a lot of time in between there. I think we're more comfortable committing what's coming in the short term, which I think Jody covered. But those are exciting. Like as we've talked, some of us one-on-one, those are very interesting, exciting capabilities. So please, you can keep asking the questions and we'll keep answering them.
Yeah. And we have made a little bit of progress toward that end, Troy, with the language support also, right? Kind of laying the groundwork, as it were.
I mean, that is a form of routing, right? It's a very, I need a certain language, so I'm going to a certain agent with that language. So you can see we have some of the rudimentary building blocks, and you can see that use case can be successful in general.
So here's a good follow-on just on this same topic of what will the future bring in terms of features and functions. A guest tonight asks, I'm curious about opportunities for explorers to set up priority agent lists so that the calls are first routed to them before going to the general pool. This is for employees who have very specific needs and want to reduce the time explaining the nuances of their tasks. And then they say, thank you.
Okay. Sort of an expansion of the previous question.
yeah, but it's going to really give us that. It's going to be the same answer with that. That's still kind of that call management thing that we're thinking. So like what this shows is that it's kind of the same problem that we're trying to solve, and we're trying to think of all the different use cases of that when we're looking through that. So again, just like what Troy said, we can tell you what we're committing to, because we definitely want to be like telling you like the new apps are coming, that's amazing, and then from further on that we're really evaluating. So it's kind of how it works, is that it's one question and expands, and we want to get to that bigger part of what are we trying to do and creatively think through that, especially with how do we enable technology to do it great, how do we enable our our agents to be able to handle that and work holistically through that whole problem.
Thank you. Here's a very specific question. When will Aira link up to Uber outside the US?
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a
When
good
will we
one.
link up to Uber, period? Boy,
Yeah,
Troy,
let's
what
talk
we
about
could say. Oh my.
I'm going to go off script. All right. So I think I've said this before. We are not having success working with Uber. I think it's fair to me even to say that there's other organizations, ACB, NFB out there. I think I've even been talking to Mark about this. Right now, there's no dial tone at Uber. Like they're not returning my calls or my inquiry on how do we get the integration going. I can't tell you guys what to do, but you can imagine if you're comfortable, social media is a great way to like ask that question. It means more coming from the consumer than just a tech company. But you have to know that I've personally spent, I don't know, many emails. I did have a few conversations with folks, and it just hasn't gone anywhere. They're just haven't found the right person. And so therefore we can't integrate because we don't have APIs to use. We don't have a way to integrate. And we did at one point. Why? Because they had published some APIs and we made use of them. They've since sunsetted or gotten rid of those. So at the end of the day, we're stuck. We're stuck in trying to make contact with someone at Uber who will talk us through how we might get back to where we were. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
So I'd say go Lyft.
Yes, the good news is we've had a fantastic relationship with Lyft. That is still working here in the U.S. Other places in the world, Troy, I'm sure if somebody out there has a connection with a rideshare service in your country, access at Aira.io is the email.
Great. I have a great question, Savannah, for you. After an Explorer call on the review of the agent, who sees the review?
That's a great question. All leaders, agent managers, director of agent services, and myself get to see the feedback, the good and the bad and the ugly. We do follow up with an agent without giving away the explorer's information by specifically following up on a call and providing the feedback. We also, agent managers, regularly review calls for quality assurance purposes, and we use that for coaching and development of our agents. So keep the feedback coming. We'll really appreciate it.
There's one thing I would add. This question comes up from time to time, like it's a privacy. Sometimes there's both a privacy question, who can see the video, and what can be done with that video. As Savannah said, we use those to review and both compliment agents when they do a good job, and also help if they're not quite meeting standards. Right? That's what the purpose of the recording and the video and the audio and all that is. Just like any service-based experience. The question is like, who can see it, and like what is your privacy is, as best as we can, and always looking for feedback, clarified on our terms of service and our privacy policy. That privacy policy in particular was crafted in partnership with an attorney who happens to also be someone who uses tools like Aira. So we went for simplicity of language and not to have a wall of words, but everything about the privacy of the information you have, which includes the video, or is in the privacy policy. And what it says is we use it for internal purposes. We will not share it outside. We may reach out to you to gain permission if we were to want to share it with a third party, which is rare. But the other thing we also say is, look, if you have you can make a request to not have your session recorded, but if we have certain internal guidelines that say, hey, if it looks like a call where we would want to have the video to make sure we can either ensure that there's quality, or maybe the situation looks to be something where we need an agent with experience, we have the right to terminate the call and not proceed. Have we done that? It's been rare and unusual, but that's often a question I get, is like, do I have to, can I control whether my session's recorded or not? Yes, you can. Is there a case where we wouldn't be able to continue the call? Yes, there is. It's going to be a rare and unusual, but it could happen, and we may change our policy at any time regarding how often we deny calls if recording is not enabled. It's really about making sure we can produce a quality product and make sure that we can grow our agents and our own knowledge about what happens in sessions.
Thank you, Troy. And I think also folks need to know, because it has come up among some discussions, that we have consulted since Aira began, and we continue to do so with the blind community, in particular with NFB and ACB. Troy talks with both of those organizations' representatives regularly, and when we have concerns or questions about policies and things that have been brought up by the community, those go right back to the community for input. So yeah, very, very
good point, Jeanine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a good note here. Savannah said it was actually 60 agents that we have hired in the last 6 months, which is that's pretty huge to me. So, and for those of you who have referred agents, let's not forget about that, because you can still refer someone to be an Aira agent. And when you do that, when they list you as a referral source on their application, once they've been with us for 90 days, then you will actually get, I believe it's 2 hours and 120 minutes of Aira points for making that excellent referral. Because if somebody stays with us 90 days, they are outstanding, outstanding, as are, well, all of our agents. All right. Do we have anybody out there on YouTube, Sid?
At this point, no, it looks like pretty much most of the questions have been routed to the Q&A
All right.
itself.
Thank you, folks. Do we have any in the Q&A you want to grab?
No, we've got one more, and I think
Okay.
you are the best person for this. And then again, depending on time, we've got a couple of people with their hands raised.
Okay.
This is from Explorer Christy, wanting to know, let's see, I want to put Aira on my Envision glasses. Yay.
Yay.
and on my desktop. Yay about that as well.
All right.
What kinds of training do you have for these? I'm not so great at technology. Well, I would say if you're using Envision glasses and you're using a desktop, you're probably a little bit better than you think. But
Yes.
I know you have ideas here.
I do. And the really nice part here is that not only do we have our amazing customer care team who can get you up and going with Aira, one of the great things about Aira on the desktop, and well, the Aira in general, and this was a quote from somebody this summer, they said, "This is the most accessible assistive technology app I've ever used." And when we design it, we really try to design it so that it is going to be easy to use no matter what your comfort with technology is. So I think you're going to like the desktop app, Christy. And if you need any help getting started with that, we have a web page about it. It's aira.io/desktop. And or you can give our customer care folks a call and they can also walk you through getting set up. Now, about the Envision glasses, here's the great partnership part. Envision offers you 90 minutes of setup, tech support, and onboarding. So they will give you a whole training on how to use the glasses and how to use them with Aira and how to get yourself set up with your hotspot on your phone and all the things you're going to need to go out and about with the glasses and all the different features of the glasses. So between the two of us, I think we've got you covered.
Hey, Janine, I might add one more when you keep me real on this one, okay?
Okay.
So Envision, in addition to that, has their community channel on an app or a web page called Telegram. I happen to observe it. I know there's people are quite helpful to each other. So that's a community support. And then, of course, we have our own groups.io and Facebook. And I see there, and sometimes someone will ask, they always start, it's so funny, they always start with, I'm not a tech person, you know, I'm naive. There's a lot of disclaimers, and you know, it's maybe like 3 or 4 sentences of like, I'm not really sure. Then they ask the question, and then I almost always see someone comes back, and I'm always laughing because I think all of us, you know, there's so much technology out there. There's so much to know. Just finding someone that can help you is like the starting point. But I would say our social channels are also ones where you can ask questions and get answers from people who use the product.
Absolutely. Anything from hands-free options to, well, just about anything. Can I use Aira to do this or that thing?
And I got a question, Jean. Maybe
yes.
I should know this one, but I don't. Because sometimes I'm at a conference, sometimes talking to someone, I'll say, "Are you on quote unquote groups.io?" Like, you know, and they're like, "No, how do I get on it?" And I say you can talk to support or ask the agent, but like what if someone wanted to get on the email group list, what do they do?
Yes, our email list is really simple to get on, and there's a format to email lists that are with groups.io, and Envision just set up their own email list on groups.io, and there's a lot of talk about Aira and the glasses on there. So you're going to go for our list. It's Aira plus, and that's the plus sign on your keyboard, subscribe at groups.io. And for Envision, it's Envision, that's ENVISION plus sign, subscribe at groups.io. And those are, our mailing list is fairly low traffic. The Envision one is a little bit heavier traffic right now, but it's not bad. compared to some
Hey,
tech email lists. But these are great ways to ask your questions, get in touch with people.
by the way, I see following on Harrison. Hey, Harrison.
Hey.
Just asked, is there still a WhatsApp group?
Yes, we do
And he
still have a
says,
WhatsApp group.
I'd like to be added. That group isn't moderated by us per se, but I'll
Actually, I do moderate it now. We kind of took that
I'm sorry.
back over. No worries. You're a little busy there, Troy.
Yeah, no.
Just a little busy. But yeah, that group. And what I will do, Harrison, is I will put the because the invite link for that changes. They've got a dynamic link on there, so I will put that link in our Facebook group for you. Because I don't have it to hand right now, but I will put that up tomorrow in the Facebook group for anybody who wants to join our WhatsApp group. Now, that can be a very active group. So if you like WhatsApp, grand, it's very much like the Telegram platform if you're not familiar with it. So it is chat, actual audio, but there's also you can also do text there as well, and I think you can do both of those on Telegram as well. Now we are not on Telegram at this point, however we will be happy to share that link. You can also find it, and I have to make sure that it's updated. You can also find it in the Aira app under the More tab, down toward the bottom of that screen. There are a whole list of ways. We have our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitter handle, all kinds of things in there. We also have WhatsApp in there, but that may be an older link. So I will put the newer one up tomorrow.
I don't really mean this, Janine, but I'm feeling like we need a special Tuesday afternoon session just on links and URLs and addresses.
I think we need a 12-step program for links and addresses at this point.
So we're just at 4 minutes before the top of the hour. Maybe we'll take one or two live questions.
I think we can probably take one live question.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
So,
tell you what, Randy, stand by. Randy, if you're
Randy has been waiting the longest.
That's great. Thank you, Sid.
Right.
Randy, your mic should be open. Almost.
Right. And we want to.
It looks like he's still muted.
He's still, yeah.
This isn't always.
It is always an adventure to unmute.
Let's give Randy 15 seconds, and while we're waiting, I just wanted to welcome Joshua has joined us.
Hi, hello, Joshua. Excellent. Hey, there he is. And Joshua, I'm always going to get your title wrong. Director of Agent Services?
That is correct. Director of Agent Services.
Whoa, I got
the
it.
care and feeding of the agents is my responsibility.
All right.
And it looks like Randy's microphone is open now.
Hi, Randy.
I thought.
Nope, it's still red on mine.
Oh, sorry about that. This is one of the hazards of Zoom.
Sid, maybe go to the next person down on the list.
Absolutely. I may mispronounce the person's name. Bojana, can you ask your question or unmute your? There we go. Excellent.
There we go. Hi there.
Oh, hi, I'm Boyana.
Boyana, that's a lovely name. How can we help you tonight?
Is this Janine?
Yes, it is.
And hi, Sandra. Hi, Troy. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Listen, I have a question. Two. One is regarding with the Envision glasses and everything in Aira. My question is, will Aira on the Envision glasses eventually, find your location on maps, and also will it eventually use rideshare accounts as well?
Oh, great. Excellent questions. Troy, I'm going to hand those over to you and Jody because those are probably right up your alley as far as things that we're
So I heard
on.
I want to use Envision. Right now, the agent doesn't have my location. When's that going to happen? So I know Jody, we launched with Envision. Our philosophy at Aira is to launch early, get feedback, and then start working on the rest of it rather than, they call it castle building, rather than try and build everything we've heard, delay the launch and perhaps miss some things and wish we would have gone in a different order. So just to be clear, it's always going to be Ira's philosophy to launch early and engage the community, because you guys have been great supporting us. So the question of when is location is it's a shared, what do they call this? Shared responsibility, right? Right, Jody, like it requires Envision to make a change. I think, we're part of that. And so I don't know, Jody, what is the answer? Do you know the answer to like when that might come out, or what Envision has said?
We are still working with them. And it's again, kind of going to be a repeated record. It's one of those things where we are collecting. And this is the one, just like Troy said, that we wanted to get it out there and get it into people's hands so we could get this feedback. And definitely location is, I think, the top 3 request. And so it is something that, like I said, we're working with them and actively, hopefully we'll get that for you, but no timeline at this moment.
What I, sorry, all the times I open my mouth, I should identify myself. I apologize. It's Sandy speaking. What Janine and I actually just secured or committed to or decided with our marketing colleagues at Envision is this call next month, which is on November.
Oh, you're going to make me get out my Braille calendar now. Okay.
I want to say it's the
Let's
7th.
see. Here it is. There it is. Whoops.
I want to say it's the 17th, but I'm not positive. Janine will confirm that in a split second. So Janine and I have confirmed with our marketing colleagues at Envision that during next month's Explorer call, there's 2 people at Envision in the leadership roles, both named Karthik, not the Karthik who joined us last month to talk about the launch of Aira on the Envision glasses, but who is the CEO, but the other Karthik.
Karthik Kanan, I believe is his last name.
I believe he's their CTO in charge of technology and development, if my memory serves me well. He will join us during this call next month to talk about exactly this, to talk about location and how it's working during how it's working, period. And then the provisions as we move toward GPS for handoff from agent to agent when you're doing a long navigation task.
Yep. Now, what I can answer for you, Bayana, about rideshare, and this is good. So if you have downloaded the Aira app on your phone and you have set up your account, and maybe you did that to get on with your Envision glasses, but if you've set up your account and under the More tab, you have linked your rideshare, your Lyft account to Aira, while you're wearing those glasses, if you want, you can call an agent and say, hey, could you set up a Lyft ride for me? Help me monitor that ride, get it all set up. And then, if it's going to be a while, you can let the agent go. You can come back in and tell the agent, okay, now can you track that ride for me and tell me where my driver is? And then help me identify them with the glasses. So that's really something that is already there with Lyft in terms of working with the glasses through the, oops, there we go. Something babbling in my ear there. Anyway, that is already set with the glasses. All you need to do is link up your Lyft account through the Aira app, and you can ask the agent when you've got them on the Envision glasses. So it's quite a pair there, and actually it's really handy on the glasses because you don't have to hold up your phone and wave it around in a parking lot, which is not exactly a safe thing to do all the time. Well, we are way past our time here, not way, but I see a lot of you have your hands up. What we would like to do is have you send in your questions. You can do that to IRACAST, that's AIRACAST, at Aira.io, and we will answer them all for you. And sorry we couldn't get to you tonight, but we would be happy to get back with you one-on-one. We appreciate everyone coming tonight. Our next call will be the week before Thanksgiving, November 16th. Yes, November 16th. And so go out there and get your pumpkin spice because We have 2 months of Starbucks coming up before that promo ends. I would like to thank everyone tonight. Special thanks to Troy, our CEO.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know if that was a problem.
No,
it's
no
been great here.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, always. This is always the highlight of my month. So for sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody and Savannah from Product Management and from Service Delivery, Customer Care, and Agent Land, including Joshua as well. Thanks, guys. And a special thanks to the other side of my brain, Sandy Marcus, who is our VP of Marketing. Hey, Sandy, we have so many things to talk to you folks about next month. I think you're gonna really enjoy. We'll have some more updates as ending finishes, but we will also have some updates on things going forward, but still our focus on employment. So that doesn't end with October. And of course, special thanks to my wonderful producer, Sid. Thank you so much, Sid.
Thanks, Janine.
Everyone have a lovely evening. Go out and get your pumpkin spice on or whatever you like. And now it's crispy apples, I think, too. So go out, do whatever makes you happy. Alrighty, this has been Janine Stanley from Aira.